Alright folks, welcome back to Glesga News. Okay, once again I'm on the record. This is a story by Tara Fitzpatrick. Apparently she's a reporter. Welcome to Glesga News, Tara, your story made it. So, yet again we have another firebomb attack. Alright, we have another attack on a well-known personality. We're still reeling from the attack on former Celtic CEO Peter Lawwell, where someone went to his house in my previous story and set fire to several cars, which resulted in extensive damage to his property, and could have led to the deaths of his daughter and grandchild. Mr. Lawwell is actually not in his house now. He's actually removed himself and his family from the premises, so one tends to think that this might be a bit more serious than meets the eye, if it's not serious enough, for him to actually remove himself from the property. And to that end, we have another incident, and this incident has occurred at the home of this man. Now, this is a well-known Glasgow businessman. His name is James Mortimer. He owns the Regano. I remember he owned Victoria's. So he's a well-known figure in the City of Glasgow. And his home has been attacked in the same manner. So, but let's read this, because you can read is it coincidental? Is there something happening? Is there an organised group or something happening here? Is this random? Is it just about football? It seems a bit strange, doesn't it? Suspicious in terms of the amount of attacks that are taking place. 3 football related ones now. James Mortimer's home. Anyway, I'm in various parts of the city, James Mortimer's in the Bothwell area, and Peter Lawwell's in the south side over at Thornton Hall. They're not connected in terms of distances. But anyway, let's move on. So it says here, the mob are probing a petrol bomb attack at the home of nightclub boss James Mortimer. Vehicles at Lanarkshire home of the Glaswegian businessman were left charred and destroyed. And there's a man there. Now remember, any pictures that you see here are not my property, and credit is due to the photographers or anyone that took them. So there you go. It says here, 2 cars, reportedly a Range Rover and a silver Merc, were left torched at around 2:30 p.m. yesterday. So that's been broad daylight, right? At the nightclub boss's Lanarkshire home on Croftbank Avenue in Bothwell. The 76-year-old, whose family owned the Regano, as I said, and the Private Members Club 29 in Glasgow, was uninjured in the incident. An investigation into the attack has been launched by the mob. Detectives have confirmed the fire is linked to another blaze at a property on the same street on Monday night at around 10:40 p.m. A manhunt has now been launched for 2 suspects, and then it goes on to describe these suspects. It's a pretty, straightforward description. Tracksuits, masks. It'll not help me to go. No help anybody find them. By me describing them, because it's a generic kind of thing. Unless you've got registration numbers or you've got, forensics, there's no way you can capture them or you catch them in the act, right? Which obviously didn't happen. But remember, this happened in broad daylight, according to the Daily Record. Detective Constable Chris McLaughlin said, "We believe the 2 incidents to be linked and are appealing to anyone who may have seen any suspicious activity in the area at the time of the fires to get in touch. Did you see anyone matching the car or suspects?" Now apparently they say the car, I think it was a Vauxhall Vectra. Now, just coincidentally, all the managers in my work are given Vauxhall Vectras, so I hope there's none of them moonlighting. There'll be trouble. Anyway, so they go on to say, you know, contact the grass line, etc., etc., etc. But further down, it goes on about Mr. Peter Lawwell's property and the fact that he has now left his property and has collected his suitcases, etc., and he's off. You know, for how long? Maybe he's been advised by the police to vacate the premises, which would lead you to think that this is organised. But is it, you know? Is it just a coincidence? You know, we've got, as I said earlier in a previous video, you've got two well-known footballers have their cars torched in the same manner. You get Celtic CEO Peter Lawwell and James Mortimer. So, what do you think, folks? What's your opinion on that? Is it connected? And these are senior people. These are well-known individuals in the city. This isn't just random. You don't attack James Mortimer's house unless you're well quoted. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be under severe pressure. So you must be connected in some way to be doing that. You're not just some random neighbour that's annoyed. Or is it something to do with the random neighbour? Is there someone near James Mortimer that believes James Mortimer had something to do with his car's gone on fire? Or, you know, the possibilities are endless. Remember, we're talking about Bothwell, so it's a very expensive area. So the people that live there are pretty successful. You know, there's a lot of shady characters in that area as well. There has been quite a lot, especially in Bothwell, there's been quite a lot of activity around about certain Italian restaurants up there. But is that connected to it? You know, you don't really know. You remember there was an Italian restaurant setting fire. You know, a ram raid then tried to set fire to the restaurant. So, is all this connected? I don't know. It's just a bit of conjecture at the moment. You know, maybe it's going to end up in the Digger. For people that don't know what the Digger is, the Digger's a magazine in Glasgow that deals specifically with crime. It's quite good. I quite like it. Anyway, I'll just leave that one at that. See what you think about it. So if you like the content, hit the like button, share and subscribe, because that's all I've got to say about that. Peace out. How dare you!